What's up, good hits brethren? Hope y'all are having a good day. You know what we're about. We're bleeding the block for the best in underground hip-hop here in New York City and beyond. PSA, public service announcement number 1, where we discuss important topics of brethren, pop culture, sports, and of course what we're discussing today, music. So this has been in the headlines, not just in the music blogs, but in mainstream news outlets. Another New York rapper is arrested potentially for a very, very long time. We're talking about none other than Casanova. Casanova was recently arrested and is currently being prosecuted by the SDNY, or the Southern District of New York, for a variety of charges, including conspiracy, or RICO, and a lot of other charges like distribution, racketeering, firearms. He was not part of the most serious charge, which is a very tragic murder of a 15-year-old in Poughkeepsie, New York. But these are allegedly, and this is all public information, including the prosecution filing itself is of course on the government website, but this is all in connection with his role and his affairs with the gang, the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation. So for those of you who don't know and aren't really tuned into the situation, also, by the way, excuse my shitty mic. It was like a $20 mic I bought on Amazon. Don't worry, major Christmas upgrade coming into the mic so we can do a better job with the audio quality for these PSAs. Also, we don't even have the logo on the mic flag. We're getting there. We're getting there, my brethren. We're getting there. I'm Poe. I can't even afford the R. So this is what we're going to have to use. You can get one of these for like 15 bucks on Amazon. Anyways, for those of you guys who don't know or are not tuned in, this guy's 34 years old, but only started rapping in a big way in 2016 or 2017. He started really late in his career, and we've talked about this. Age is becoming less and less of a factor to be a successful rapper. You could be a really young rapper like 13 and 14 and blow up in a big way. Look at P and VJ if you don't believe me. You could be 38 and be Freddie Gibbs and get signed to a major record label and get nominated for Grammys and release hit track after hit track at the age of 38. It's becoming like an athlete in basketball or football. You could be really old and be a successful rapper. You could be really young. So the whole "you're old" diss that a lot of younger New York drillers are making in their songs holds no water to me. It's kind of a stupid diss. Age is just a number, truly, in the rap game right now. So yeah, he broke out in 2017, has a number of very big songs, and very like New York oriented songs about New York. Set Trippin'. He has So Brooklyn. He's collaborated with legends like Fabulous. He's collaborated with rising stars like 22Gs. He's been everywhere in the music scene. He does have mainstream appeal. He does have a national audience and a national fan base, and that's proven by his record label allegiances. He's signed to Roc Nation, so he is signed to a major record label deal. And Casanova is one of those guys where he's a big social media personality. He's very well known internationally, and you kind of thought that he might be separating himself from all the gang bullshit and all the criminal stuff that you really should be trying to separate yourself the moment you see yourself becoming a successful artist. You should separate yourself from all of that terrible stuff regardless, but you guys get the point. But, you know, unfortunately he didn't. He's only had one major EP, Behind These Scars. So his career was just starting to take off in a serious way, even at the age of 34. He hasn't released an incredible amount of music. But you kind of started seeing signs that there was trouble on the way. He was one of the rappers that had to drop out of Rolling Loud, New York, I think last year or maybe the year before. And that was on the NYPD's advice because they were worried about gang-related violence. Gang violence is on the rise in New York City. It's a huge, huge problem here, especially this year. We've lost a lot of rappers and a lot of people who associate with rappers here in New York. So he was known for his gruff Brooklyn bark and that style of rap music. But yeah, you know, he The charges came out a few days ago, and no one could seem to find him. And then he turned up on social media and said he was going to turn himself in, and then ended up turning himself in. And this is not his first charge. Even on the Rock Nation biography on the website, it says that he started stealing at the age of 11. Later on in life, he had a robbery conviction. His former cellmate, believe it or not, was A$AP Rocky. Turned out to be A$AP Rocky. So I was looking through the charges, and I don't have criminal law experience, but these are some pretty serious charges. RICO type charges that we just went over: distribution, firearms, which is a big deal in New York, racketeering. Again, he didn't get the most serious charge, but usually when the SDNY, let me educate you guys about the SDNY. SDNY as prosecutors are some of the best lawyers in the country and in the world. Usually when the SDNY comes after you, especially on a charge like this, on a RICO charge with a very high profile artist, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. And these charges are very serious. The SDNY is a very elite task force. These are some of the best lawyers you could find. They generally don't come after people unless they have a mound of evidence, and it's coming out that they have many wiretaps. They have text messages. This case has been going on for years. And again, this isn't his first run-in with trouble. He was the same rapper that got into the big fracas at the Barclays Center with Tekashi 6ix9ine, where Tekashi said to prosecutors, he asked his manager to let off a gunshot as a warning in the Barclays Center stadium. So he's been involved in altercations. He's been arrested on multiple occasions. So with all of these factors combined, the SDNY, the fact that it's not his first charge, the RICO nature of it all, and the seemingly quite a bit of evidence that the SDNY has kind of been alluding to. It's unfortunate to say, but it really does look like this man's music career is over. I'm not going to say that he's going to get the max sentence that he could get, which would be life in prison, but I will say that he is likely going to be sitting down for a few years unless he has a Tekashi 6ix9ine type of situation where he kind of testifies and cooperates. And this is notwithstanding his lawyer saying that the full amount of, when the facts come out, it's going to exonerate him and all that shit. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but usually in a situation like this, given, again, I'm not a criminal defense lawyer, but with all the facts considered, it really looks like his music career is over. It looks like he's going to be sitting down for a long time. He's already quite old as is, 34. I know I said age is just a number, but when you're out of the game for that many years and you come back and you're in your 40s, 50s potentially, you're not going back into the studio. So I think that's a big headline, and I think you just got to be honest about the situation. This isn't really a Bobby Shmurda-like situation for a variety of reasons. Shmurda was a lot younger. He got 7 years, and frankly, he was a more established artist than Casanova. He had a bit more name recognition, and he had one breakout international hit. That's something Casanova does not really have. So with that, I gotta surmise that Casanova's music career is likely over. And just a piece of advice. I'm not like, there's a lot of YouTubers that cover hip-hop and rap, and they just say some bullshit and regurgitate it from what everybody else is saying. I like to leave you guys with a little bit of advice. I like to leave the brethren with a little bit of advice to all the young rappers that watch this video. Just watch who you associate with. You could rap about whatever you want, but with conspiracy RICO-like charges, it doesn't matter if you're the one doing or not doing something wrong. Just watch who you associate with, because if those people who associate with are committing horrific, terrible crimes like this situation here, you're likely going to find yourself behind bars. So just if you're an artist and you're talented musically, just watch who has your best interests, and stay safe out there, and you know, just be careful at all times, and try to live a straight edge life and focus on the music, not on all the other shit. Just keep focusing on the music. And now that I've interviewed a few artists, it's so easy to tell the artists that are like focused on their craft and on their music and becoming a successful artist versus the people who are doing it like a part-time job and are just fucking around with the homies. That's how you get yourself in trouble. So just, yeah, key takeaway, can't say it enough, watch who you associate with. The other situation I want to cover on today's PSA, I really didn't want to talk about this, but it's being picked up by major dipshit bloggers like DJ Academics. There's a rapper in I don't even want to call him a rapper in New York because he hasn't like released anything yet, but he's a clout. He seems to be chasing clout. Hasn't released a song yet, but has previewed a few tracks. I think his name is 1090 Justo B or something like that. He posted an incredibly offensive picture that kind of takes aim at one of the, you know, rap collectives or organizations or gangs or whatever the hell you want to call it here in New York. And it was very offensive because it specifically and personally attacked a rapper and you know, I know a lot of you, most of you guys are going to know who this is, but for some people who are not from New York, a rapper named Nick Blicky, who was tragically a victim of a fatal gunshot wound earlier this year. And this guy was a rising star. He had made numerous songs. He was starting to really reel out hits. This could have been a guy like 22 G's, who is somebody he had collaborated with many times. That could have been a star that could be signed to a major record label right now. He was a really likable guy from what I understand. So that's not to say like he didn't have his own beefs and issues, but he was a very talented rapper. And so this guy 1090 Justo B posted an Instagram picture that was very offensive about this guy's tragic demise. And just for the New York hip-hop and drill community, we got to be better. This is just a blatant clout-chasing move. It's sad that DJ Academics picked it up and posted on this blog, but I expected nothing less from that dumbass. But, you know, this guy, it's all for clout, and it's just really disrespectful to other people. So it was just kind of disappointing to see. It's not something that I really wanted to delve into much, but it's just something that I wanted to address, that from Good Hits TV perspective and paradigm, that stuff, like, it really isn't sanctioned to me. So with that, y'all have a good night. That's a wrap for the PSA. As always, safety, and most importantly, salute. Nowadays the bag's only thing I'm entertaining. Make my bed, do not sleep on it. Tripping all the dots be on it. Injury on the